HOA Karen had been a nightmare for the entire neighborhood, always complaining about the tiniest things and acting like she owned the place. But nothing could have prepared me for the day she called 911 screaming that I had stolen her RV and demanded the police come immediately. I had been living next door for 2 years and had never even touched her gigantic beige RV, but apparently parking too close to her mailbox earlier that week had set her off, and she had been plotting revenge ever since I was in my driveway, sipping coffee and trying to ignore her shrill shouts when I saw her running toward me with her phone waving wildly. I knew that if I tried to argue, she would escalate things, so I decided on a bold move. Instead, I casually walked over to her RV, unlocked it with the spare key she had foolishly left in the lock, and started the engine. Her eyes widened as she realized I wasn't cowering or apologizing. I calmly drove it off her lawn, waving to the neighbors who had gathered, and headed straight for the police station while she screamed at me to stop. But no one was paying attention except me. As I pulled into the station, officers came out, clearly confused but curious, and I explained the entire situation, from her obsession with minor grievances to her over-the-top 911 call. They listened patiently and then asked Karen to tell her version of events, and it was like watching a live drama unfold, full of exaggerations and accusations. I handed over the keys and waited while the officers sorted everything out, and that's when I noticed the glances from my neighbors, some shaking their heads, some laughing quietly, but all clearly relieved to see someone finally stand up to Karen. I told the officers calmly that I had no intent to steal the RV and simply wanted to defuse the situation and keep the peace while giving Karen a taste of her own medicine. How would anyone react if their neighbor suddenly drove off with something they claimed was theirs but really wasn't? I knew it was risky, but the satisfaction of seeing her flustered and having the truth on my side made it worth every second. In the end, Karen got a warning. I got a story that the whole neighborhood would talk about for weeks, and for the first time in years, I felt like maybe the neighborhood could finally breathe without her constant nagging. It was a small victory, but one that reminded me sometimes bold action speaks louder than hours of arguing.